Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about the Timekeeper. I ran him 100 times to see what kind of loot he drops, because, and the reason why I did this is that when I killed him in the main story, I was massively disappointed the tiny amount of loot that dropped out of him, and then relying on 4 chests, which usually typically give you greens and blues, to get your loot for that fight. I was very disappointed. After a really good mechanical fight, I had very little reward. I know that he obviously has dedicated drops, so I wanted to see what he dropped and is it worth grinding him, because I was massively disappointed. Now the reason why I did this is because I just started the bleed build on the siren. So with the right setup and all that, you just basically look at the enemy, throw a throwing knife, and then fire 1 bullet and they die immediately. So before that gets patched, I'm going to try to do as many 100 boss kills as possible to see what kind of loot drops from enemies and how often they drop. I did this with Horace like last week, or I don't know, I can't even remember, a couple of days ago, 3 days ago, I don't know. I killed him 100 times and the results were kind of surprising, to be honest. It was kind of an even spread across greens, blues and purples. There was about a 50 difference between each of them, from green to blue and then blue to purple. I was very shocked about that, and that's also what I wanted to do with the Timekeeper, to see if there was any kind of correlation or pattern there, to see if there is any like actual built-in drop rates in general. So I ran him. It was a lot of fun. Basically, you run in. I had 2 weapons with underbarrels. So I had the Dullahan shotgun with the spread fire projectiles, and then I had a Jacob's pistol with an underbarrel knife that fires, which I accidentally junked, and I'm very sad about, because I love that weapon. So I would spawn in, and when he's walking around in his big happy self, I would hit him with a throwing knife, hit him with one of the 2 underbarrels. He would immediately die. We would then spawn into his second phase. I would hit him with a throwing knife, I would hit him with the other underbarrel, and he would be dead. And that was it. Sometimes it didn't go to plan, like I missed and stuff, so I had to do the fight, but for the majority of the time it was just literally 2 hits and he was dead. So I didn't really time it on how long it took me, but it was give or take 2 hours. Now I wasn't just always sweating it, you know, I was having breaks here and there, but it was about 2 hours of my time. I did it at, I think, 4 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the morning while I was still awake. I haven't slept much since this game's been out. So let's get on to the loot. Now, I am counting the 4 chests and what spawns out of them as well, because I feel like what he drops on the floor is just not enough for a video like this. So I opened all 4 chests, counted the greens, blues and purples in there, and a legendary that I got, which I was very happy about. So yeah, that's all included. First up, greens. Now, greens typically are more common, which means they drop more, obviously, and then usually on a run like this, greens have way more than any of the other 2 rarities, or 3 rarities if you include legendary. I had 606 greens across 100 kills, averaging 6 greens a run. Obviously that's with the chests as well. Now here is what is very interesting. The blues had 683. So for the first time ever that I've seen, typically in a game like this, whether it's Destiny or Outriders, where I've done this kind of stuff before, I think it's the first time that the higher rarity has dropped more often, which blows my mind. Then we move on to purples, which is significantly lower, but still really good return on investment. I had 420 purples. These mostly came from the Timekeeper themselves, and then there was obviously a few here and there in chests I was opening. So with Horace, it was about a 50 difference, green to blue, blue to purple. This is the complete opposite. So it's around about 80 between green and blue, with blue being higher, and then a massive drop of like 260 total items to hit purple. But we're all here for the legendaries. So I got 4 legendaries in 100 runs. I got the Star Helix, I got his shield twice, and then I got another random legendary. That will all be on screen, and we'll go in and now in a second and look at everything. I think that for the final boss of the game, the legendary should be super rare. I, however, feel like there should have been way more purples, because you are putting time and effort into one of the most mechanical fights in the game, and then you are just disappointed. Obviously, I've run it 100 times. Not everyone's going to do that. But in general, when you're running it 1, 2, 3 times, you're barely going to get any rewards for something so... You know, if you don't one bomb them, if you don't have a ridiculously broken build, it's a decent chunk of a fight. Like, so I find it very, very strange that there's not more purple rewards. So I can only really show you 2 things, because for some reason I don't have either of the shields now. I know I gave one to a friend, and then the other one I just must have junked by accident, because my whole UI is messed up, so I can't see what weapon is what. It's very frustrating. So we have the Throne Double Creme Anarchy. So mutualism on auto reload or kill grants 15% damage and minus 15% accuracy for a maximum of 20 stacks. When you throw it on reload, it shoots enemies until it's out of ammo. So there is some things over here fighting in the main area, so we're just gonna we're gonna throw that out. Let's just do that. I know it fires like as you throw it, it fires like bullets out. It doesn't seem that good at all. I'm not trying to hit anyone, by the way. I'm trying to use the gun. The gun is just better off hitting them on the face, I think. Oh, I just got a legendary. I didn't even realize that was there. That's pretty sick. This gun's magical. This gun's magical. It gave me a legendary. So when you actually like fire it, it feels really nice. If you were close up on someone, it's going to do a lot of damage, but in general, like you can see there that it fires bullets out as it's flying. It doesn't seem that good. It definitely isn't going to be something I throw into my inventory. In general, it's probably just going to sit in my bank. You can see down there in the bottom right, it's like a charge ammo as well. It's not just, you know, ammo. It's like charging. I now can't reload because I have no backup ammo, so not that great, to be honest. What is this? A mega triple bypass. It's not even better than the current one I have, which is a same thing. That can go as junk. That was so lucky. Oh, I just got this from a shift reward. A reflective calming fire break. When energy shield breaks, triggers a nova on 3 enemies that deal so it hits 3 enemies and then they explode, hitting other enemies. That could be sick. When it crit, grants 20% shield recharge rate and reflecting projectiles. I might have to look at this. This looks pretty decent. It's a low amount of shield, but I gotta go test that. Everything is just going crazy at the moment. And then we got the break free style stuff. So yeah, there's a shift key for that, I believe. If you go on the Borderlands Twitter, they will show you it. So I was using this one before, and I'm just making sure it's favorited. So we can have a look at this. Then we go in and, well, we don't want that anymore. That shotgun, it's terrible. We need to now equip the Star Helix. So let's go find that. And there we have it, the Forceful Star Helix. Projectiles can be fired vertically or horizontally. Ripper License Magazine. The gun charges before fully auto-firing. I don't know if you have to have that Ripper License Magazine. You probably don't. I don't mind it, personally, because it will just fire out like this. You just hold it anywhere and it just fires. So as you can see, if I turn this to vertical, you can see that it kind of fires out like a wave of bullets that go into like a circle, if that makes sense. I don't like the vertical version of it. I think it sucks. The horizontal version, though, not that bad at all. I'll tell you where this is really good is for killing vile enemies, because if you do vertical, you'll be able to hit all of their purple iridium at the same time. So pretty cool. Let's use it on these guys here. You can see that it absolutely tears through enemies. Like, it's just a really good gun. However, if you are too close to an enemy, it won't really happen on the Savage Horns and stuff because they're massive. Your bullets can actually go around an enemy if they're right on top of you, because obviously the bullets go out to the right and left and then come back in on each other. If they're within that circle, it will absolutely miss them, which is incredible. Ow. Bloody Savage Horns, man. They're so strong. They just blast you. But you can see this gun is fantastic. Let's change it to the vertical and go find another thing to kill. Oh, we got some more of these guys over here. This will be a pretty good test because we just seen it. But because these are so big, it's actually going to be easier to hit them. But wow, they do some damage. but I feel like it doesn't do as much damage with this gun as it does in the horizontal version of it, which is strange. It's also a lot harder to hit enemies if they're running and moving, whereas if you have the horizontal one, it's just going to absolutely destroy them. So yeah, I'm disappointed with the vertical, but if we go to horizontal, you can see that it just absolutely rinses them. I feel like the only time vertical might work is if you're looking up at the birds and stuff, but even then I prefer the horizontal. So who was that? It was you. This is even without using my my throwing knife to cause bleed as well, which is just crazy. It's just a badass gun. Right, so the shields, I, like an idiot, completely removed them from the game in one way or another, so I don't have them. But what they do essentially is increases your maximum health, increases your health regeneration, and reduces damage to you. However, you don't have a shield anymore. So essentially what the shield does is it has a perk called Bininu. When equipped, grants plus 5,268 maximum health, plus 283 health regeneration per second, and reduces damage taken by 33%. So it turns you into an absolute tank. However, you no longer have a shield. You don't have shield or overshield. You just have your health, but reduced damage and greatly increased health regeneration. So if you have a build where you are more powerful without a shield or lower shields, this is the one you need to go and get and grind, because you will be doing incredible amounts of damage and keeping yourself alive. So yeah, those are everything that I got, all the results, all the loot, the numbers, and the legendaries that I got. Let me know what you have got from the Timekeeper, and are you as disappointed with the little amount of loot that he drops, even though his individual unique legendaries are pretty good. Thank you for watching. I've been Easy. Now you guys have been awesome.